Hey everyone, welcome back to Teachers That Sparkle, your YouTube series for everything you need to be the best in your classroom that you can be. This week, I wanted to talk about something I came across this morning as I was working on my social media, and it really resonated with me because it's something I used all the time as a principal and as a teacher, but sometimes we just get so many things in our heads, we just kind of do them automatically, and we really don't think about them. You'll get there one day too, I promise. So my post today on Facebook and Instagram was about everyone matters. And underneath it said every student, every family, every community member, every school, every. And it's so important to remember that. I remember when I first became a principal at the time, and I'm in Texas, so I'm going to be very transparent. State assessments are very challenging. And the school is measured, and that is reported publicly based on how your students do. And back at that time, students were not necessarily held accountable for how they performed, but more just the school. And I took over a school that was struggling. And of course, you've heard my story. I went in and I had to do some fixing and some rebuilding of the school. But one thing that I noticed is that when I would walk the building, and I had been the assistant principal there the year prior, so I really noticed this when I was the assistant principal. And the principal that I replaced really kind of built this kind of culture. But what I noticed is when I would go by classrooms, especially third grade and up, where we took the assessment, some students whose assessments maybe didn't count for different reasons were not involved in the learning. And I was appalled by that. I have to be honest, because the school that I taught in, that's not how we did things. The first school that I became an assistant principal, that's not how it was done. And of course, when I noticed it as the assistant principal, I wasn't in charge yet, so I couldn't make a huge difference, except for the fact that the teachers that I actually supervised and evaluated, I had started having conversations with them about every kid matters, every child counts. And that was kind of our theme in our district at the time. Every kid counts. But clearly, my message of that and the work that was being done in the classrooms wasn't aligned. I am happy to say that as I took over as the principal and as I did work with the staff to start to change that culture of how things were done in the building, it completely turned around. And as a matter of fact, we actually went into a total inclusion program within our school. We were highlighted by our region center, and we really made a huge difference with all students at that campus. But I want us to think about that a little bit this week because it's August. I'm recording this on August the 7th. Some schools started back today. Some go back tomorrow. Some go back sometime this week, next week, the upcoming weeks, all over the country, right? So no matter where you're listening to this YouTube today, school's getting ready to start again. And I always love the start of the school year because it was an opportunity to release anything that happened the prior year. So if you had maybe some challenges in your classroom or with some colleagues, or maybe you're at a brand new school and you're having a fresh new start. Whatever it is, it's almost kind of like moving, right? I loved moving, not that it was great work, but it gave me an opportunity to clean. And that's kind of like what the new school year does. It gives us an opportunity to clean our thoughts, clean our worries, and start fresh. And as we're making that fresh start this year, and I've talked a lot about preparing and making sure you're ready for all the things that will be coming, this week I wanted to really talk about how do we ensure that everyone matters? that every kid counts, that it's everybody every day. Now, as I say those words, I know that that's a lot of responsibility. I know that that's a lot of work because we've talked about this before. Teaching is very hard. It doesn't get any easier. I'm not going to tell you it's going to get easier. You'll get better, but it's kind of because we learn how to do hard better. But we have to ensure that everyone matters. Every kid is going to get your best, even the ones that drive you crazy. And they're going to be there, I promise. Even the ones that are quiet, do their work, and kind of fly under the radar. And even the ones that struggle. Every family matters. Even the ones that challenge you and question you. Every day matters. Think about that. I know for a fact, as the principal, Friday afternoons at 2:00 was when I would hit the wall. I know that about myself. So I would schedule my Fridays accordingly. I would make sure that in the mornings on Fridays, I had all the heavy stuff I needed to get done. In the afternoons on Fridays, I scheduled myself to do walkthroughs, just to go out and be in the building and check on the building and check in on kids and talk to people and be visible. Because that's what motivated me to get to the end of the day at 3:15 when we would get ready for dismissal. How do you set yourself up to be able to get through every single day, the hard days and the easy days? I think there's some research out there that says teachers are typically happier on paydays, which I love that. I really do, because I've been there, right? Everybody's happy when they look at their bank account and it's full of money. But then what about the days when you look at your bank account and it says you have $2? Because I've been there too. Or -$, because I've been there as well. But we still have to show up and we still have to do the work. Now, how do we make sure that everyone matters, everything matters? Honestly, I think a lot of what I would suggest to you is it's a lot of mindset work. Knowing and remembering your why. I think keeping that why bigger than all the challenges. Why did you go into teaching? My why was huge. Did I still have challenging days? Absolutely. But I always would stop and I would remind myself, why did you do this? Sometimes I'd be in the bathroom. Honestly, I'd go in the bathroom because I needed some peace and quiet for a moment. And I would look in that mirror and I would say, why did you do this? Why did you sign up for this? And I'd give myself that pep talk. Because in my mind, if my why was bigger than the challenge, then I knew I had to keep going. Of course, another way that you can ensure that you take care of everything and everyone is planning ahead. We've talked a bit about that, making sure you're set up to start a smooth school year. But even as the school year gets going and you get tired, and you're going to get tired, are you still taking care of your business? Are you still making sure that you check off that checklist? And plans are important on that checklist. Are you still doing the things that matter? Now, before we wrap up, those were a couple of suggestions for you. And of course, you can reach out if you want some more. But before we wrap up, I want to remind you of one more important person that matters. And that's you, teacher. Without you, the school's not going to run. Without you, your students are not going to learn. Without you, there's going to be a void within the whole system that will cause a ripple effect that you can't even imagine. You matter. Your well-being matters. Your emotional being matters. Your creativity matters. Your thoughts and worries and concerns matter. Make sure to take care of you. Give yourself someone that you can talk to about the hard days. Give yourself grace to make mistakes sometimes and learn from them. Schedule yourself time to rejuvenate, whatever that's going to look like, to relieve stress, whatever that's going to look like. Go to bed at night. Eat as healthy as you can. Wake up 15 minutes early so that you're not rushing out the door. These sound like simple things, but when you start doing them, and habits usually form within 40 days. When you start doing them and they become the habit and they become the norm, you will thank yourself. Because everyone and every day and everything as a teacher matters, including you. All right, y'all. I hope you have a fantastic start if you're starting school this week, a fantastic back to school staff development, meet the teacher, whatever great activity you are doing this week. I hope it's amazing. I'm sending positive vibes out to every single teacher, principal, school district administrator, everybody, every student, every parent, everybody involved in the school system. Because I want you to just build public education in a way that people want to be part of it. All right. Have a great rest of your day.